Welcome back once again. This is Chonga versus Ymir, TBG, Harry, Flashwing, Nikoen, Vastrakel, and Pepe Pan Ostrich. Up against Loxy Poxy, Mr. Stefan, Barriers, Donvale, and Shield Brother. Well, that's not really a Brie, is it? It's a German S, I think, if I remember my German lessons correctly. We'll find out anyway. Early what's going on from the blue team, covering the entrances nice and quick, so they can see that five-man grouping of the red team.
Yeah, right away,
Go ahead.
we see the sprint come out for Vamana. Why do you think that is? I mean, it's only sprint one, so you're not going to be able to deal with that like Osiris slow. So why do you think he picked up that sprint?
You're going to build sprint anyway on Vamana, right?
Right.
You are going to build sprint on Vamana at some stage of the game because it combines so well with his ultimate. He's also going to have to deal with Osiris as the game goes on, and he's also going to have to deal with Nemesis as the game goes on. Sprint 1, not necessarily the best, decision. You don't really want to get sprint 2 for it to be effective because that's when the slow immunity kicks in, or the removal kicks in. So, but I guess he wants some extra sustain as well. Like if you go straight for the sprint, he's not going to have enough
The Osiris.
for sustain. Did you get them?
It looks like that. He hogged them, so I would imagine he did steal them. So what we're gonna see here is the
No, he
Vamana.
didn't get them. He didn't get them.
Okay.
If he did, he would have been level 2 by the time he did that speed
You're right.
buff
Yep.
out, so-
Kali hit. No.
He got one of them.
Yeah.
They split the camps. He got one of them.
Okay, he got one of them. So here's the way I'm looking at the Vamana picking up that sprint level 1. Do you think it would have been more worthwhile to invest into a ward instead of picking up the level 1 active that's not going to do much? He's electing to not go with Hog, so they could have easily invaded there. Would you much rather see it like that kind of defensive play rather than investing 300 gold early like that?
I don't know. I mean, you want to invest something, I guess, instead of just leaving 300 gold in the bank account. But then if you ward early, you're going to have to go back to base and buy. I can understand him getting a mana pot just in case the invasion happens if you're not getting Hog. And at least you can sustain them. For mana, very heavy on the mana costs as well, take into account. By taking the mana pot at the start, it means he can trade a little bit more in this lane and not just farm in the early stages because he can afford to use that mana because he's got that mana pot available.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the sprint's useful. Maybe not the correct stage of the game, but the rotation's mid already coming out.
They're looking to fight this.
That was really good punishment from Agony. That punishment was fantastic.
Yeah, that was very. I personally would have never done that. Like I would have never even thought to do that. That was a good play.
I really like that play from Pepe. That was a really good decision from him. He's punished Nemesis hard. Unfortunately, she's not going to punish it too hard though, because she's jungling, so she'll be able to sustain back up with Bombers.
Yeah.
With the help of Isis in the jungle.
Yeah,
but
she's going to pick up
play.
both these camps here and get topped off to about 50% HP.
It doesn't necessarily also have to be like you have to kill them either. You just like make them show you respect, and now that's kind of in Nemesis's head now. Like, yo, this Agony's aggressive.
Yeah.
So I need to be careful.
Yep. So they were a little bit slower on doing both of their red buffs there, so they didn't get the back harpies on right, but now they're going to be able to go to speed. So the mid laner has gone to the same amount of buff camps as the Isis, but, doing 2 big buff camps instead of a big buff and then small harpies. He's going to be a little bit ahead of this Isis, and he should hit level 5 off of this minion wave as well. Isis is going to be backing. So I think Agni has to do the same thing right here and try to match the Isis's damage for this mid-camp fight.
Well, we're sitting around for the big camp, so they're going to be at about 40 seconds time. You see Nemesis looking for an opportunity. One person I've not spoken about is Vastrakel, who's playing AD carry in this game.
Right.
I'm not actually sure why he's in the Combine. It doesn't make sense to me. There's a few players in the EU side that are in the Combine. I don't think they should be. They've been on pro teams before, and if they're not on a pro team
middle lane coming out right now
because they've not got the mentality.
Agni is going to find it with the bombs. We saw him right there. He used a bomb on the minion wave. I'm not sure that he thought the Nemesis was just going to go in there, or he just wanted to clear the minions because he knew that they could do a little bit of damage there. Mid camp's going to come up. Geb is going to try to solo them, and he's going to get them.
He's going to get him, but what's he going to do in response? He might be able to get out. There's a good shield from him, good cataclysm. His rollout's still available. They've realised they've used everything, and he's going to get out. Flashwing played that really, really well. Really well. Now, this decision from Apollo, I'm really upset about. Can we just rewind? Because this was... Rewind back to Apollo. Watch this lane matchup. Just fast forward it a little bit, because it takes a little bit of a while. He pushes the lane into tower, and he just sits here and watches as these mid-camps are going on. And he could have rotated a lot earlier. He could have actually been the kill for that Gab if he would have come straight away. Watch this now. See this? Look, it's pushed up. Look at where the next minion wave is. It's miles away. Why is he not rotating now? What's he doing?
Right.
He could be abusing the situation. It's not a big thing, but it's even Cupid's the one who leaves lane first. Cupid is the one that leaves lane first, and that was a mistake from Apollo, in all honesty. He should have left the moment he cleared the wave out. There was nothing for him to do. He could have rotated mid, either got the experience or got a kill for himself or an assist.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And then it's just a shame that he used that ult and wasn't even able to find anything with it. So now he has to watch. Not only did he use his ult, but now he has to watch the threat coming out from Vasterkill here. He could use his ultimate, make it so he can't dash, get that free heart bomb into a stun. It's going to be a lot of damage, and it's pretty much it could shut down this Apollo at this point in time, right?
Well, now that the ult's on cooldown, I mean, if Carly notices this and it gets called out on comms, then Carly can rotate over with the help of Cupid. That's a confirmed kill pretty much on that side. There's not a whole lot Ymir can do to stop that as well, in fairness, if those two go hard on him, especially with a Geb about, with the shield. Bit of a bad situation. A lot of red wards down on the map, though. There's too many. There's too many red wards down.
Yeah, I mean,
why cover all these entrances? Like, the defensive ones are not being used.
Yeah, they have 7 wards on the map right now. And that's pretty obnoxious for the 4-minute mark. They 8 wards now. They just put another one down. That's actually crazy.
It's just too much. And even with that ward coverage, Carly is still stealing the blue buff.
So they're not really. I mean, they're ganking Vamana, but they didn't get it, and now they're going to give up this blue buff.
Wards are good, A, if you abuse them and use them to your advantage, and B, if you place them in the correct areas. This back red ward, if you're going to place it there, you probably want it a little bit deeper, probably covering the blue buff a little bit more. And
the one on solo, right?
Yeah, the one on solo side on the right hand side. That should be covering the blue buff at least, not just the entrance. It's too late where it is there to actually set it in front of him. And then there's one in the middle as well. Like, there's so many wards from red team. Yeah. That's a lot of gold. The thing we're complaining about the wards, guys, is the fact it's a gold sink. You're slowing down your build because you're over warding.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree there. I mean, Nemesis and Ymir each placed 3 wards so far. That's a lot to invest for a jungler this early into the game. Support, that's pretty standard, right? But then you have the solo who's put in 2 and the middle who's also put in 2. That's pretty much all the wards that are on the map right now. And that's a lot.
It feels like they're throwing down wards because they've got them instead of like thinking about the positioning of them. Agony gets caught out of position here. Let's see how he recovers from this, because that was I feel like it was a misplay from Agony more than anything. He tried to support his team. He's probably going to pay with his life, I think. No, nice stun from Kali.
Good peel coming out from Kali, just helping him out a little bit.
I liked Agony's decision to rotate to try and support the team, but she got herself in a bit of a bad spot.
You want to know what's weird too? Is they have all these wards down, but none of them are aggressive, right? Like they're invading that blue, but all the wards they have don't tell them if it's okay for them to invade that blue. Like, they don't have them at the back harpies to tell them, like, when somebody's rotating in. They have them at mid lane, but everybody was already out of mid lane, and they already sort of rotated, so they didn't really know if they could come in and contest that.
Well, second harpies come up, and they both go to the red team as well, so good presence from both of them. Isis got the left ones alone, which is okay because the rest of the team were busy zoning on the right, so securing both just denies the experience from the whole team. We spoke earlier about trying to share experience, but in some situations it is okay to take them solo. Good jungle clear coming out from the red team as well. They're controlling the jungle pretty well for this stage of the game. It's constantly on cooldown for the most part, from what I've seen. Nemesis, though, hasn't had much success with ganks, from what I've seen.
Yeah, not too much. She's only she got picked in the mid the one time, and both teams are really committed to farming right now. Who do you really think has the better late game team comp? I mean, obviously blue team has Kali and Geb, which I feel are going to trump Ymir and Cupid, but I don't know.
Well, Kali Osiris is an interesting matchup. You know, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum as well. Ymir, Geb provide different things. Apollo has split push viability, whereas Cupid technically is a hyper carry and overlooked. So, I mean, that's the composition style of things, but it's more down to the individuals that are playing them more than anything, and that's what the Combine's all about, I guess, you know? We're looking for the individual standouts. At the moment, it's another slow game, but this is kind of how EU generally plays out, in all honesty. It's normally the first goal fury that dictates the pace of the game and which side it's generally is going to be on the advantage to. So, just trying to see like who's really stood out for me so far, because at the moment I'm kind of struggling with this one, to be fair.
Yeah, it's hard to really tell when everyone is so passive there. Oh, nice dash coming out from Agni. This Agni seems to be very aggressive in mechanically sound, I think.
He seems to understand his god pretty well, from what I can tell.
I'd say
He
the
understands.
Agni's probably impressed me the most out of any of these 10 players.
Well, keep an eye on the Agni then as the game continues, because we'll watch it like to the 15 like we continue to do. Big rotation to the right hand side for this hi-rez, but they're not going to get anything out of it. Geb's just generally roaming around the map. He should be trying to get as much experience as possible. He's still equal level with Ymir though, so that's not a bad thing. Speed's up, but there's no invasion coming out. And Agni's wall placement there is a good one. He's actually going to catch the rotation from Isis and punish it. This
Nice
fight in middle could be
silence,
interesting.
but yeah. The Isis should have known that the Agni's dash was up and that he was immediately going to dash right after that. Probably should have popped it just as the silence was ending. But
Invasion on. I like that call from Carly. She wanted to go for the blue, but saw Ymir went, no, I'm out, peace. I'm not going to get involved in that.
yeah, it seems
was a
like
right-
Ymir
right
is just
call.
roaming heavily, and that's really your job as Ymir. It's just like Ares is. You do a lot of damage early, and you have a lot of setup, especially when players don't really have their actives maxed out or even have bought them yet. So you want to try and set up early with Ymir, and it seems that this one's doing a great job of trying to roam around and find opportunities to help out his team.
Big camps are up right now. Blue team are not contesting them whatsoever. It looks like Reds are going to get both of these yet again. By the looks of it, Geb's late on the rotation to mids. Luckily for him, though, they're going to get the left-hand side.
So
And now, if you notice, Red team's wall coverage is starting to dip a little bit, at least on certain areas of the map, and Blue team's is starting to pick up.
I don't like the decision for Ymir to freeze those mid camps right there. And I know it's weird to say, but freeze doesn't do like an incredible amount of damage, and he's only got it at level 3. I think you could have just finished it with your auto attacks with the frostbite passive. You really, because it's such a long cooldown, freeze, you don't want to be using it really on minion waves or camps unless you absolutely have to. You want to save it for if anyone comes up to you, because that's 18 seconds where you're not going to have your main CC ability.
Completely agree. It's like I said, it's a slow game again. Blue boss coming up. Kai's taking that down. Looking at the builds, everyone's starting to get the boots online now. Hog 3 available for Ymir. Has Geb got Hog 3 yet? I don't think he has. Don't think he's got the Hog 3 available right now.
He does.
Does he?
Yeah, Ymir
I
has
can't
Hog
see
3.
it. It's okay. No, you made Geb.
Oh, Geb,
Sorry,
no,
Hog
Geb
1.
has Hog 1, no. That's,
Um,
yeah.
Red team should be trying to abuse this. Like, they'll see him in lane and they should see that he's not gone. He's not actually got Hog 3 yet. He's sat on 1300 gold. He should be back in base right now. There's nothing for him to do. He should be back in base this second, buying wards to cover the Gold Fury, as well as spending this gold. Good
Ooh,
blink,
they
though.
just burned
Good
Isis
blink, though,
all.
after talking
That
about
was
it.
fantastic.
That was a really big blink. And Isis tried to preemptively, like, do the full combo in one go. That would look really good for the highlight reel, but he's on cooldown now. But
Yeah,
what
I
is
mean,
Geb
he
doing?
doesn't. There's nothing for him to do right now. He needs to be back, buy Hog 3, start up Sov level 1, and buy wards. He has enough gold to do that. in
Exactly,
hand.
they need to start controlling the Gold Fury. If Red Team really realise he's still got Hog 1 and hasn't gone back to base, they should be abusing this and trying to do Gold Fury at the same time. Like,
I think with the
both-
Isis ult down, though, it becomes questionable. If they had Isis ult, I would 100% agree. But with Isis ult down, nice stun coming out, making sure that
Pepe
that
again.
Nemesis can't burst.
That wall was a bit unneeded. So that shield was a bit unneeded. You may came in afterwards, though. But Nico and going to punish Donvale for that all-in
There was
engagement.
no need to
dashes
ult
down.
there
Apollo's up.
by the Kali.
Apollo's up, though. No, there wasn't a need to ult. Watching this fight out to see how it goes. Pepe's positioning is great. He takes some poke and gets out immediately.
This Ymir is he's like smelling blood, I think, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Twice
it's
now,
one
like
of
he
those
went after
things.
that Agni who was 70% life. Meanwhile, his team, the Nemesis, was getting chased down by a Kali. Like he did not have the damage to finish it off there. And then once again, you saw him chase the Geb and freeze him instead of trying to peel for his team. It support's hard because you want to initiate, but you also have to know when it's time to back off and peel for your team.
Now this is one of those situations. Geb was really low on HP, but he didn't have Hog 3. If he would have had the Hog 3, he's still not got Hog 3. I don't get that decision from Geb at all. You need to get Hog 3.
yeah.
At this level of play, and you want to be looking to get into a Challenger Cup team, you need to know as a support player, you have to have Hog 3 at this stage of the game. Their team missed the opportunity to do Gold Fury then because he didn't have Hog 3. And now he's going to delay it even further because he spent all his gold elsewhere.
For sure.
And not onto that Hog 3 as well. So, unfortunately from the Geb, unfortunately for the blue team. They had more opportunity to capitalize on that, honestly.
But we do have the scout for this team, and once again, it's going to be F. Dot. He's returned back. He's here. We're about to hit that 15-minute mark, guys. So, F. Dot, what did you notice from these players and these teams? Talk about who stood out to you.
Word. First of all, hello again, guys. Second of all, really, Kali is sticking out to me in a positive light. And I'm actually going to go ahead and say Don Vale, the Nemesis player for Team Ymir.
Okay.
So he's 0-2, and a lot of the situations that he's gone into have been unfortunate, but he seems to be making the right choices just without all the tools. He goes in and his teammate doesn't follow, or he goes in and he's just slightly too weak to pull off what he wants to do. So the thought process is there. He just needs to like round out his information.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And then with the Carly that you're saying, Nico, what was it that stood out for you with him?
I mean, Kali's just doing real well. His positioning is really on point, especially for a Kali. That's pretty important. You'll see him use the ult maybe once or twice in an effort to bring out damage, but most of the time he's using it the right way. So that's really a big tell for me with Kali's is when they're using their ult. And if they're using it offensively or defensively. And he's just doing everything right. Look at the Kali I mean, part of it is the character, of course. That's what Kali does. She snowballs. But he put Kali in the position to do things correctly. So
Okay.
Nico is really the standout player for me here.
Did Pepe stand out at all, that Agni player in the mid lane? Like, for me, he seems to be really aggressive, yet his position seems to be good. And I've even seen him buy sentry wards, which is something that's quite advanced that you don't normally see that often, apart from like the real pro players.
Yeah, I did notice that. I did notice and I gave him a point or two in my notes for exactly what you said. The sentry wards, and kind of the opposite for the supports. The supports in this game are a little just they're not doing it really.
They're discombobulated, aren't they? That's how I kind of feel it. Like,
yeah, the supports in this game aren't. I think they need a little bit more work. So you want to look elsewhere. Like I said, find your eyes traveling to the jungler Nico and even Don Vale, who, despite his slash line and his you'll see him fail miserably, but he fails in the right way. If that makes any sense.
How do you feel about the soul inners? Because I'm looking at them right now. Normally, we don't really get a good look. I always bring this up. At this point in the game, the Osiris, without any Gold Furies being taken, already has a 700 gold lead. How do these players do faring like into the late game transition?
The Osiris Loxy Poxy is somebody that I actually have a couple of notes on, and they don't really mean anything. All of the little notes I have are just like, great ultimate here, great use of his mechanics are on point. Adonis, that's really what we're seeing in that soul lane. He's not making the most intelligent decisions. He's not exactly, he's not gonna come up with some crazy strategy. He's kind of just doing what he's supposed to be doing. But the amount of times he's used the ult to get out of the way of things, the amount of times he's used Judgment Tether to do exactly what it's supposed to do and just counteract whatever Verman is trying to do, is he really understands the character. And before I said this about Masag, I wasn't sure if it was just on Kronos or not. He's playing Osiris and using his mechanics in a way that really show me that it would translate to another character. So I like a lot what I'm seeing out of Loxy Poxy, and keeping in mind that this is a combine and not a tournament, I don't care if he wins or loses. I like what I'm seeing, and he definitely deserves a shout out as well. So Loxy Poxy and Nikoen, to a lesser extent, are my two standouts.
So
Awesome.
I do want to talk about a play we just saw. Team Chang'e went for the Gold Fury, and their hog was down. And Ymir just walked up. He got bursted really low, but was able to hog it with about 10% life, and there was still 5 seconds left on the Gold Fury. So I don't know who made the call on Team Chang'e. Did you listen to any comms? How were comms from these players? Because whoever made that call did not make the right call. They just had a Gold Fury stolen because their hog was down.
Yeah, I was bouncing in and out of comms from Chang'e, Ymir, and then I also made it a point to like stay out of the comms for a section of the game just to like really get a look and have a beat on what the players are doing. And frankly, Team Chang'e, they're really riding Nico. They're really just riding Nico. They understand what he's doing. Vastrical is a very smart player. And is making sort of like minor calls, like, hey, go in here, hey, chase this kill. But as far as like calls on the bigger picture, there really is no call. People are just kind of going for it. So
Okay.
that call, I really couldn't say who it is. Like I said, Vastrical's making a lot of the smaller choices. The Cupid that built, do we have it built yet? Yeah, the
Iqval?
Cupid that built Iqval. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but his calls have been pretty on point today. So
Awesome.
Well, guys, that's you have it from this game as well. We'll be back shortly with the next one as well as we go into the next replay, bring you some more action from the Combine. Welcome back once again to the Combine, continuing more games. Agony versus Team Apollo on your screens. Syncrotion, Melolex, let's go with that. Mugiwawa, Koi J-Man, Shock and Smash, Doubts, Sniffler, Antibath, and I've Had Enough, along with I'm Conwack.
Alright. About to get this underway then. You know.
But look at starts. What
We
am I
see
seeing?
two Hog 2s coming out from the blue team.
What's Loki's build?
Heartseeker 1
With what?
and Heartseeker 1.
And 2 potions.
What's that build?
Is it bugged?
That's gotta be a bug, surely, right? Has he got Hog?
No.
He doesn't need it. Heartseeker 1, 2 potions.
Okay.
Maybe.
As a heads up, if that's not a bug, I'm going to criticize him straight away and say you always want to invest as much of your gold at the start of the game. There's no point just leaving it sat in your inventory like that for any particular reason whatsoever.
Maybe
so.
maybe he's nervous. Maybe he's nervous. Maybe
He's not got
didn't
pot either.
realize
Like
it.
maybe if I was like, does he have pot? No, he doesn't. It's just
he has
a very, very
2
strange
pots.
build.
He has a health.
No, I meant like power pot or something like
Oh.
that.
Yeah. No.
It's an interesting one. I'm not sure why he's chosen to just go.
Yeah, they're gonna
maybe
get
he's
invaded.
misbought.
There's
That
no
could be a
reason for them
misbuy.
not to invade this.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to push him even more then, especially
And-
without having blue buff. So
Yeah, they just double hogged it.
Oh.
Really
They
nice
should definitely
invade
fight.
from
They're
DT.
level 2 here. Honestly, I would have liked to see the wall come out. I think if he walled and allowed Baka to Butcher's Blade, the Nemesis, they would have had to just back at level 1. There's no way they could have even remained in that lane.
Yep. They both had their slice and dice and decoy. They had no mobility. Look at the duo lane. They're going for
Yeah.
the red buff, and look at
But
the
they know-
response from
I
Agni.
like Agni. This is great by Agni. We don't see this enough. I don't think he's going to be able to stop it, but I do like the response.
yeah, the duo lane
Great
couldn't rotate in time.
Whirlpool.
Good Whirlpool though coming out from Poseidon.
Mugiwawa's might be in a bad spot too. No. Yeah, Nemesis
no,
is level
level
1.
Yeah, level 1 Nemesis. Anti-buff and
I don't know why she didn't leech mid. She had to have leeched mid there.
Should have.
She needs to be leeching and splitting camps right now. She's so
It's a
far
really bad
behind.
situation for red team. They've already lost. The red team are in a really, really bad spot in this one already. Blue team have played this really well. The invasion for Bakasaur Thor was really, really strong early on. And the invasion on the left-hand side, like Mugiwawa and the Apollo player, Melo, I'll call him, like realizing that they can abuse this duo lane, they're actually starting to do that, and it's very, very nice of them to do that. Like that red buff invade was fantastic. Mugiwawa's been around for quite a long time, and he's known at quite a high level for his play.
This could be bad for the Geb if he hits a pool. Does he have it? No, he actually didn't level it, which is fine.
I'm okay
Typically-
with
No, typically you're not going to get use of it until higher levels.
It's also a lot of mana to invest in that pull as well if you miss
For
it.
sure.
I mean, if you hit it, it's very during the early stages anyway. It costs you a lot of mana.
That's one thing that a lot of Sylvanas players do is that they spam their abilities pretty heavily, and then they kind of run out of mana. Like even for mid camps, they won't have mana available. This Nemesis is rotating, but she needs to farm. Like she just.
Okay, so Loki went for Transcendence. That's why he didn't go for this for Heartseeker. He was going Transcendence.
And he wants
But
to.
if you go in Transcendence, you want to be going Death's Toll.
Yeah.
You do not want to
I
be just
agree.
saving all that gold up for a faster tier 2 version of Heartseeker of Transcendence. He's putting you behind, and he's going to get all-in. The all-in wasn't great from Cool J-Man there, though.
Yeah.
No, I think if he would have positioned his minions better and like put it behind Loki more, it would have been better. But
I mean, there wasn't really much.
I don't think
Even
there
the
was a need
minions
to.
could have done there. The invis was up is what the major issue was. Is he needed to pressure the invis before he went and blew his ult.
Yeah, Cool J-Man didn't need to do that ultimate there at that time. There wasn't any benefit out of it. He wasn't going to be able to kill the Loki at that stage of the game. Loki fighting with this is a good decision from him now, just because of the fact that he knows he can't get pressured by the cripple anymore, so he can just
this
walk
Thor
out
is
of it.
looking to fight. He's up in the
The
air.
Thor knows.
Kraken's available. Rollout's down for Geb. There should be first blood.
Good double tap.
We're
Good
actually
combo.
gonna get 2
Really
kills
good
here.
combo.
Oh, Agni just barely got the dash off. They picked different targets, but they're still going to be able to
Apollo
finish it
was
up.
able to finish
Yep.
it. So I mean, overall, they got the kills, But that kind of miscommunication can really destroy a late game.
They're going for gold. I like this decision. No one can rotate for this. Nemesis is in 5. She's not going to be able to contest it. Honor has no idea. He thinks Apollo just backed, and they have no wards on us. They have no idea this is happening right now.
Yep.
Yeah, no
they might have
idea.
realized
Really
it by now, but for the first half of that Gold Fury, no idea.
And notice how they used both their hogs at the same time. It almost worked the same as a hog 3 would. It was an execute. It was nobody's touching this. This is our Gold Fury.
Yeah, really good decision from blue team. They were adapting to the situation. Shock and Smash, I want to give a shout out to because that ultimate was good.
Yeah.
As well as his use of auto attacks in between abilities as well. That was also very
that
nicely
Agni
done.
almost killed.
He got maximum damage.
Poseidon.
Yeah, he nearly he missed that last bomb though. That was the one misplay that he made there. If he hit that last bomb, he was dead as well.
He actually could have killed him because the Poseidon has no boots. But instead of just aiming for it in the middle, knowing that he couldn't escape because of lack of movement speed, he actually just tried to predict where the Poseidon was going to hit, land, and instead the Poseidon was able to juke it. If he had because he has no movement speed, if he just positioned the bomb to land where Poseidon was in the middle at the time that he fired it, there was no way Poseidon could have got out of it.
Yeah, exactly true. So, currently at this stage of the game, I mean, we're starting to get to that point now where we'll see a little bit more out of the supports and the mid laners, hopefully. We've already had a little look at the junglers, and for me, Thor's like edging out Nemesis in terms of how it's been going. Definitely, whatever happens in the solo lane, I feel this is Bakasora's lane now because of Lucky's decision making in the early stages. That's cost him too much, honestly. The fact that he's now invested into boots as well is just further just mistakes in build.
He's 700 gold behind at 5 minutes.
He may understand how to play Loki, but his decision on build order is really going to hurt him too much to get himself back in this game right now.
I agree.
It's hurt him a lot.
I mean, he doesn't have Transcendence done. It's not like it would have delayed him from a significant... Going Death's Toll would not have delayed him significantly. Shock and Smash is definitely looking for a gank on this Agni,
he bought Boots 1 before finishing Transcendence.
Exactly.
Why
and
didn't he just do
teleport.
that level 1 if he really wanted to do that?
He also bought Teleport, which I feel was forced early. The Teleport was forced earlier than he wanted.
Ball's going up in mid again, but everyone's relatively safe here. This is a forced gank. I want to see how this plays out. Charles in this mid lane hasn't noticed this yet. Full combo again from Shock and Smash. He did all the work for that, and once again, Shock and Smash is the standout for me right now in this one already.
For sure.
With the Thor play, he's using that ultimate effectively every single time.
I think the Poseidon played that really well too. He actually did not aggress onto Agni. He gave him no indication that Thor was in the air.
And then he didn't waste his Kraken either. They knew they had to kill. He didn't overkill it, right? So there was no need to use that. So now he has this for the mid camps that are coming up on right, which doesn't even look like they're going to be contested.
Yeah,
Nemesis doesn't really seem to know the timer on that. She's going to look for left.
This is a forced engage on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Maybe they can make something happen, but Muggy Wawa played this well so far. If he can juke out that ability well, which he does.
Poseidon's rotating. Oh, great pull.
Oh, the pull. The pull.
He just needs to turn. This Apollo needs to turn.
Yeah,
Or alt. Alt
He's
was
gonna
the right
ult.
decision.
He was going to go on the
Poseidon
question.
should have turned on the Nemesis while
sure.
Apollo went in.
I like his call. I like his call. And that was a really good impale from Anher, though.
The Nemesis should have died as well. That was the Poseidon. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that decision. He could have even just Krakened and then gone.
Yeah,
there's
should've
nothing for the Nemesis to do. Her dash was down.
Right.
So that whole fight on the left-hand side, what we saw from that was a forced engagement from Red Team that they got punished for. The only saving grace in that was when Apollo went in. I loved Apollo's decision-making to go for the Geb at the back and then turn his attention to Bath, who was trapped in between that. But the Anher actually impaled him away and back into the tower to get a kill back in response for that one as well. The whole engagement was forced and it was a mistake from Red Team. But Blue played it really, really well in all fairness. Like Muggy Wawa, I've got to give a shout out to him once again. But Muggy Wawa's been around for a while and people recognize him. He is a good player. He's probably one of those that doesn't really need to be in the Combine in fairness. There's a few, like I said today, like Vastrakel and some others we made.
They're going to go for the same combo, but they know Thor's in the air this time. I don't know where Agni's going. He's moving away
What's
from
Agni
Poseidon.
thinking? He went deep for the ward. That could be a mistake.
That was great.
a great stun.
Yeah, Shocker Smash is just cleaning up house really pretty
It
much.
wasn't even the fact that he hit the stun. It's that he positioned himself so where he knew the Agni was going to dash that way, and whether even if the Agni didn't dash, he had him cornered off for Poseidon to come in from behind.
Yeah, definitely.
That wasn't, I'm not going to try and hit it. That's, I'm going to make sure we secure this kill by putting myself in a position where we pinch the enemy.
Possible turnaround for red team here, but Mugiwara gets a good ult off again to force a disengage. I don't get this Loki rotation. There's farm in the lane. He's rotated for something, but I'm not exactly sure what that is.
I think he just came off a spawn or came off of base and went to it.
No, he came out of lane.
Oh, he did?
He came from behind, yeah. Well, he's going to go all in the mid. That's a good play from him, though. And that's a really good shield coming out as well from Spiff. Sorry, is it Smith? Sniffler. That was a good shield to actually block the CC that was applied to him as well to get him out again. Good play from Loki. That's kind of made up a little bit for his mistake in the itemization.
I don't really know why that Apollo ulted there.
Well,
I don't like that call.
What does Anher do here? Because he's pushed the wave in. Is he going to rotate as well? He's going to ward. You should have seen blues up there.
Yeah, but Thor is coming back. It would have been greedy to go for it. It wasn't like a secured thing where he had just saw Thor in there like a while ago. Shotgun Smash with a little bit of a late teleport, but I don't think he could have committed to the Geb anyway.
You know, we were talking about players who don't necessarily, you know, need to be playing in this. They're already, you know, not established, but they're well known. I think Shotgun Smash is also one of those players.
He went to China, right? And played, I believe.
Did he?
In a show, in some show match a
You're
long
right,
time
he did.
ago.
He played in the show match. But we've seen him before. I know I've played against him in ranked. He's a very high-level player, and he's showing that today. But something that you got to start to look out for is this Loki in the solo lane. He really needs to start abusing the fact that he's Loki and not look to fight this Baka, but look to decoy and then rotate and look to fight in mid lane. He needs to try to out-rotate the Baka instead of trying to contest him.
This Thor should have been spied with this ultimate. Nemesis should not be here. She should be aware of the Thor. Does get out of the situation well, but
yeah, the Whirlpool wasn't there in time. The Whirlpool should have been out. It looked like he Kraken and then Whirlpooled. Or at the very least, waited on the Whirlpool.
He should have been stunning to Kraken into Wall into Whirlpool, honestly. Like, that should have been the full combo they should have gone for there. As soon as he lands with the Thor Dunk, he could have been Krakened. Like, that will confirm the Kraken.
Yeah, just a little bit of mistiming allowed the Nemesis to escape there.
For sure. Nemesis played it, though, because she should have seen Thor go into the skies and not got caught in that position in the first place, but it worked out okay. Actually, no, sorry, I apologize. I think Beads was used then by Nemesis, and that's why she
needs to
get
ult.
out.
If he's going to fight this, he just needs to ult.
Yeah, he had the help of tower there, and he didn't really do anything with it.
It would have been risky. Ooh, see now he could get turned on if he's not careful here. Which is exactly what happened. Yeah, he needed to do that when he was under tower, so that the Bakasura would take a little bit more damage from the tower, and instead he did it when he was in a bad position.
So I think what the misplay there is he used his ultimate when he was already point blank. Yes, the ultimate does damage, but you need to use that as a gap closer primarily. And when you're invis and 3 and you have all that damage already, I don't think it's necessary to use your stun when you're point blank. That's just one of my pet peeves is watching people play Loki. It's you're using your initiation / escape when you're already there and already ready to fight.
This game feels a little bit one-sided in terms of the skill level. Can we fast forward a few minutes to the next Gold Fury fight? Like,
sure. Do you have the timestamp on it?
I don't. I'm just guessing it's probably going to be about 15 minutes. I mean, it should be soon-ish, really, with how the Gold Fury is.
Yeah, it seems to be very pick-oriented between this. This Thor is doing a great job of picking people, I think is what it comes down to, in conjunction with this Poseidon. And they're really abusing that fact. There hasn't been too many like team fights. It's just this person gets caught out of position.
Let's see how the Gold Fury goes. I mean, this has been not slowish, but it's one-sided. I just want to see if the red team can get themselves back into it a little bit more, for the most part. I'm struggling to see if that's a potential.
It's just pick after pick. It looks like.
Looks like it. Loki turns up good Aegis though, coming out from that Poseidon there, and he's actually going to survive. He's going to get collapsed on by Nemesis and Anher at the back.
Great wall. He didn't even look for the stun. He was just
cut the option.
He put it ahead of just far enough that even if he doesn't hit the stun, there's no way that the Nim can go that direction. And then they're gonna grab Gold Fury. It was just 2 picks in a row. It looked like they picked the Geb first, and then they picked the Agni, and then it was like a 4v3, 4v5, or a 3v5, and red team really couldn't do anything.
Well, we're at 15 minutes right now, and we're going to be bringing in the scout once again just to give us his feedback, or at least one of the scouts' feedback. And it's somebody who's a hunter player. I don't really know where he's from, but he's supposedly a hunter and he's supposed to be pretty good. Ataraxia, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Doing
We're
great.
not bad.
Doing good.
So you watched over this game, like we watched up to about 15 minutes. What did you see from it? Anyone that stood out for you?
Okay, so early on in the game, it seems very, very one-sided, and that is, in our opinion, largely down to Shock and Smash. As you guys said in the broadcast, Shock and Smash is a player who doesn't really need to be here. Anyone who's played in the EU pro scene knows he is a top-tier jungler, always has been, even when he's not on a team. So it's no surprise that he's doing very well here.
Oh, I completely agree. Was there anyone else that stood out other than the ones that you don't necessarily think should have been in here? I mean, for me personally, I think Mugiwara and Shock and Smash are two well-known names that are good players, and are known in the scene to the other players as well. Because that's kind of what it is about breaking out and getting yourself noticed by the other teams. Maybe that they didn't realize you were available or not. But was there anyone else that stood out for you at all?
As a hunter player, I was really looking to see a super talented hunter in the Combine. And I saw some good ones in the early games, but this game is where you see someone amazing. To me, he's been the standout player that I've seen out of all the games I've watched, and that's anti-buff. You won't see it until later on, because, I mean, this game looks very one-sided at this point. But it actually drags on for a very long time, and that is on anti-buff. He puts the team on his back, and he makes some amazing plays in the team fights.
He just made one now.
Yeah, he just made an amazing play.
He just went pretty aggressive then, as you were saying. At what stage of the game have you got notes down at all?
We could probably fast forward, when some of the plays he made.
It lasts about 37 minutes. There weren't any massive plays himself. It was just consistent plays that, blue team takes a team fight, they're winning the team fight, and then Antibuff is giving it a decent trade. He's keeping his team in there, doing a lot of damage.
We saw that when they did that gank on the left-hand lane that went terribly, but he still managed to trade the Apollo back. The Impale, into the tower's big.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
How do you feel about this Poseidon? How do you feel he did?
Poseidon is, I feel, he's in the right places, but he's missing a lot of his stuff.
Okay.
He gets a bit too overeager, but he's in the right places. I'm not sure how much of that is because of Shock, but on the damage done, he doesn't perform as well as you might think based on his score.
Oh wow, I just noticed he only does 48. I felt like he's been doing pretty well, but I didn't realize his damage was that low. It's actually below Geb's at this point in the game. Which it should not be.
On terms of damage as well, at the end of this game, the highest damage by 7,000 is anti-buff. On the losing team, spoilers, he is 7,000 ahead of anyone else in the game.
Wow,
on the losing team, as
that's impressive.
It's very impressive.
Well, I mean, so from what you saw there, you saw anti-buff from the losing team, which is good to hear some stuff from the losing team as well. Shock and Smash, obviously, Mugiwara. Was there anyone else on blue team at all that you saw? I mean, obviously, blue team, the one that looked to stand out the most in this game because of, they were the ones that win and generally they're the ones that get noticed. Was there anybody else? Was that pretty much, your picks for this one?
Yeah, pretty much. It's hard to say who's outstanding on the blue team because Shock and Smash pretty much put them in the lead. So when you're playing with a 5 to 10k lead, you're going to do better than you would if you're even. So it's difficult to say who's really performing well because they're playing well and who's performing well because they're in such a demanding lead at the moment.
Right.
Well, I mean, that was the end of that one then, guys. You got a few picks from Ataraxia, the second place hunter at Worlds. He could have got first, but chose not to, I guess.
Chose not to?
Ooh.
Chose not to. Well, Barracuda made sure he chose not to, I guess.
I'm pretty sure North America just was a little bit better there.
Don't start. Don't start. I said this before, I'm not a Zimstar. I'm not going to take this crap from you. We're on EU today, boy. This is how we handle things. We'll be back, guys, with the next round of matchups as soon as we can. Probably bringing you another one shortly. Once we've got the replay loaded, once again, Ataraxia, thanks for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the next game. I don't know who it is versus who it is, but here are the players that are involved. It's Hazer, Lunam, Lucio, Stay Behind Me, it's Joni, MJ, Amjat, the Pikachu, Panface, Gibbs, and Palin. No problem.
Take a look at the Ymir. What's the first thing you notice?
Jungle Ymir, that's what I notice.
Take a look in the top right. What do you see?
Jungle Ymir.
Purple Pot Boys.
Purple Pot Boys.
He's going for first blood or he's screwed.
Why are you all excited? It's a Jungle Ymir. Like, Jungle Ymirs can get Purple Pot. That's okay.
He's risking it for the biscuit. That's why I'm excited.
You don't need Hog on a jungle Ymir. You don't even really need Purple Pot of a jungle Ymir,
All right.
honestly. But
He's going to
it
get
will allow him-
invaded, and he's going to feel it.
Not by Afro.
What,
Circuit.
by Afro?
Circuit?
That's a
Against
pretty
a
good
Kali
invade
Ymir?
comp.
What? And your Purple Pot Ymir when he
Not
hits Glacial Strike at level 1?
Afro's
he's gonna
level 1
boom.
is pretty top
Afro
tier.
has the best level 1 if you level up Kiss
Like,
first.
I tell you what, Peckies, if you want to discuss that, come at me in the jungle when I've got Purple Pot as Ymir, as an Afro, and we'll find out who's going to get it to the face, okay? Like, I am down in that Ymir situation, I'll tell you that much.
Fair enough.
You
fair
throw
enough.
those doves, boy, I will smash you with in hands until you hit the floor.
All right. I can respect that. I can respect that.
Yeah, you better had to too. We're in a U now, boy. And let's see what else we can see in this game anyway. The early blue wards coming out as well. I do like the positioning of them. They've only put a couple down.
Yep.
But the positioning is the right positioning in my eyes.
They have 4
This
out,
line-
actually.
But look at the line they've got. Look
Yep.
at the line they've got. They can follow Carly through every transition through her jungle. That is the correct ward position for the whole game for the most part that you should see, apart from when Golf
Well,
Fury
Kali won't be in the jungle. Ymir's in the jungle. And that Afro's dead.
Good
That's
point.
first blood.
Purple pot.
Oh, no.
Nah,
So
enhanced
the
too
mistake
much.
there was that the Kali didn't level her stun. If she had the stun level there, that was
Yep.
first blood. I'm a little surprised that she didn't. I'm assuming she hit level 2 and immediately got her jump.
Oh, the juke of destiny. Pikachu is not done in solo lane. He's
That's a
This
good
is
call.
smart.
He's
This is
looking for
really
it.
smart.
Great call. They think he's rotated. No, I haven't.
And the slow. But a great stun might keep him alive. The auto attacks are really strong early. There's the jump, there's the kill. First blood. And the purple pot has paid off. Especially if he's able to keep... If he follows the circuit, yeah.
You want to know what? Just if Kali had that stun there, that would have been so much cleaner.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it would have been clear. I mean, to be honest, the mechanics of Pikachu there, Pikachu's a really good player.
Yeah.
I think he misplayed a little bit there, honestly. He used his full combo instead of like using the Glacial Strike, it applies a slow,
This-
then using an in-hand or two, then applying the freeze straight afterwards.
This is a
That would have
free
been
buff.
better usage of his skills, but it still got the kill, it was still confirmed.
They need to take
And
back harpies too here.
how'd you deal with this situation? I mean,
They
realistically,
can't do
this
it.
is-
Circuit's level,
this is great play from
cannot
Red.
do anything. They
This is
have
great play from
They
Red.
have the early push. They have Poseidon controlling lane. They have Sylvanas and Duo, and they have the strength of Ymir that got first blood. There is nothing blue team can do right
With
now.
purple pot.
And this is actually, I want to say, this is great decision making from blue to not contest that, to push the wave and then split their buffs in the back.
Except for what Anher is doing right now. Look at
No,
where
he had to
is.
push. He's got leap. I mean, they shouldn't be able to all in him unless he makes a mistake. Yeah, be fine and get out of it. Only level 3 on the Sylvanas. That the hook's not that easy to land at this sort of stage of the game. The only thing I would worry about as a Circuit player, I mean, Circuit's played it well since she knew her speed got invaded, but she should have left lane probably a little bit earlier, just because she knows that that Giannis is in technically a losing matchup in terms of push in the early stages, as is her duo lane, which means speed is definitely a threat for the whole stage of the game. Just because of the push power they have, she maybe should have considered her options a little bit better and left lane a little bit earlier. That's the
I
only
honestly don't
concern.
think anyone's made a mistake in this game across the, for the most part. Any major mistake, like the first blood, that was a great play by Pikachu from leaving the jungle and waiting a while too. He didn't just wait around the corner. He like half rotated and then came back because that lane had pushed up, which is the only thing that may be a mistake. But that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
You're not going to expect that Ymir to come back around.
And they are going to be fighting on these
Blue
right
should
ones.
not contest this.
This call.
Yep.
This call is amazing from Red Team. I love everything they're doing here right now.
That was perfect Kraken placement too.
Perfect positioning. He had to walk back into it, walk back into danger.
And,
then
Rama.
jabs
and the
with
ROM
the
rotated.
rotation.
That Red is playing this game perfectly so far.
They are.
Kali
One
was
thing
here
to
too
note,
after pushing
this
the
is-
wave.
This is why this rotation's even better, and this is why the decision making is even better from Red Team. Red Team knew they had the lead in this game, and what's the option when you're behind at the mid harpies? You want to go for the safe ones, which are the right ones. But Red Team were like, no, we're going to contest these right ones because we know we expect you to be there. We want to fight you again because we want to keep and push this lead on more. So that was a really good call from the Red Team as a whole. Whoever shot called this game was fantastic. It was crisp, and the whole team is involved in it too. Everybody was around those harpies at that
Yeah,
game.
I definitely. When we get to Scout, and I definitely want to talk about comms. We didn't mention that last game, or
That's true.
yeah, last game. And this is just fantastic. This Ymir is going to be here. Does he have Blink online? No, he doesn't.
I don't think he necessarily needs it. Like Afro's trying to keep them zoned out, but he's putting her in a really bad spot now. Has she got her ultimate? She probably hasn't because DM Brandon. Oh no, she has.
she's
Okay.
got it.
I was gonna say DM generally like teaches people not to get it or like bait it in, or he does it sometimes on stream. So people generally copy people who are in the scene. So there was a situation there where I was like, has she actually got ultimate? 'Cause
No,
that
against
could
the
have been a
Kali,
potential
you're
problem.
probably gonna need your ultimate to immune the stun. No matter what.
Mid lane, so I kept looking for a bit of aggression on Poseidon, but Poseidon did it the right thing and just backed out.
Yeah,
He didn't risk it.
Serket's in
He
a
didn't panic.
very rough spot.
I like how the thing about Poseidon, though, he didn't panic then. He
Mhm.
could have used his beads to get out of that situation he was in against Serket, but he didn't. He wasn't scared of the all-in. He realized he could escape and realized to save onto his abilities.
For sure. Yeah, the Serket's in a really bad spot now, and this is realistically, Red has this game in the bag almost. They've done a great look at the wards. So they've done a great job with wards. Across the board, what is that? 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 wards already. 5 minutes into the game. So they have good coverage on very important parts, I think.
Just looking through itemization to see anything that stands out. I like the build coming out from the Ymir on the jungle. He's got the blink online now. Keep an eye on him, just all in like that. I just killed it, and he did exactly what I expected to see happen. That's just abuse of the situation and the fact that Giannis didn't have beads online yet.
Speaking of beads, I'm a little surprised. There was the Ymir who got first blood early. I'm surprised he doesn't have beads already.
Who, the Giannis?
The Giannis.
I mean, it's 5 minutes in, and generally when you go back, you're going to get boosts. You've got, you've got Paul, you've got the ultimate.
I would say against a Ymir
That's a big
though,
pull.
that's got early advantage. Yeah, this is probably going to be rough for blue team. Oh, and he hit the last one too.
That was nice work from Jat again. Just like rotations have been really good from the Hunter role.
For sure.
We don't often get to speak about Hunters too much. Like I know we mentioned one last game, but that was down to actually talk about late game. And this is a good collapse to the Gold Fury now. I want to see if we're going to see anything out of the blue team to try and defend. Is it really worthwhile?
I don't really like Jat running off of there. I think they should have stuck on the Gold Fury.
Yeah, I agree. I think they all tried to support the teammate, and they should have left like 1 or 2 there. Someone should be zoning this right now. They should still be zoning this.
Blue team could actually turn this around, but they have to all in now.
Yep, because they're taking a lot of free poke from this. Good portal from Giannis again. Giannis doing good work here. Nana's combining very, very well. Shame the Desert Fury last hit didn't actually hit. The second to last hit, should I say. Fight's getting messy. The fight got really messy here.
For sure.
Can we rewind it and just watch
Yeah.
this whole Gold Fury fight back? Because I feel like this is the point of the game where both teams get to shine a little bit, and I feel like both of them small misplays. So
the Giannis ulted there. What was he ulting for? I didn't happen to notice. Because
I think he was all into try and provide an escape route, I guess, or just get back to the fight.
so
quicker.
red team right here should have just the Ymir is fine. They should have stayed on the Gold Fury, and that
They
was
should've.
that was a huge mistake.
I mean,
Because
it's fine for Sylvanas to come. I don't think we should have seen Rama come over there. Rama is generally the tanker of this of the camp because he's got the sustain from Devour's Gauntlets, you know. So it would have helped him to tank it. Now that was the initial fight, and then we see the re-engage. Now I like the re-engage from blue team. Giannis and Anhur play this very well at the start. They focus on the person tanking it, who's actually the hog as well of the team. They focus on Gibbs. You'll see him get focused out a little bit as well soon. Sorry, I meant Rama here, I guess. Rama got hit up. And Hazer here, he misses the second to last Desert Fury attack, which is the one that he really needed to hit. If he
yeah,
would've hit
I think he
those
was
two,
trying to
they'd
hit
gone down.
both, and they split, and that was like a half a second hesitation on which target to go on with his ult, whether to swing it right for the Sylvanas or swing it left.
It just becomes a very, very messy fight. I like the fact Jat stayed in, though. I want to give him a shout out for that. Jat stays in this fight, even though he's very low on health, and realizes when he should be escaping. He's going to get collapsed on now by the Serket, but has enough presence of mind to roll away. He may still die. The blue team do defend the Gold Fury. I think that's because the red team made the mistakes of letting him get the opportunity
I
to
think
do
they're
so, though.
trying to do it, which I don't like. I don't like them trying to do this here. I think they just need to disengage and then farm up these mid camps.
Geb's got Hog 1, they can't do it.
Yeah.
The other thing to note as well in this game, I'm not sure, Sylvanas started Watchers, didn't he?
What happened?
Sylvanas start Watchers? I'm pretty sure I saw him start Watchers. I'm thinking he sold his Watchers early to make sure he got Midas and Hog 3. At the same
yeah,
time.
the only way he sold it to full buy boots because boots are in the first position on his list, so he definitely sold them to full buy boots is what happened.
That's right, and have the Hog 3 as well, which allowed them to try and go for that. I like that
Mhm.
decision from myself. Honestly, it's something that we overlooked, but I'm glad I noticed it actually, because it's something that a lot of people don't realize is actually a strong and effective way of doing it if you really want to get that high mobility quickly. It can cripple you a little bit in gold, but if you can get, an early goal through it, which is what they were looking for, it would have been good. And the wall coverage is fantastic for that option as well.
Yeah, Red's got a ton of wards on the Gold Fury side, which is really where you want the wards heavy on early. Obviously, Fire Giant hasn't spawned, and there's very rarely action over there. You really just need the 2 wards that you see, really covering the buffs in the 2 entrances.
Yeah, I mean the walls were good, but now they're all on cooldown. Hopefully, get some more online for the red team so they can try and position it already. Because Gibbs already
Yep.
doing that sentry ward down. Really, just good decision from
This
him.
could
there.
be a little Sentry Ward dance here.
Potential for Carly over here. This should
Great
be a
wall,
call for
great
red. This should be a
freeze.
call for. Yeah,
They're
this should be
going
a call
pretty
for
hard
red.
on this, so they're definitely
have
going to have
to.
to burn them.
They
Yep,
should
there
be.
they go. They got him.
Reason being, Sir Cat's on the other side of the map. So they should go gold now. This is a Gold Fury attempt available to them. Only Giannis
There's
to
Giannis
defend again.
cooldowns too.
But the cooldowns are kind of low, so
They-
Giannis will come back in soon.
They wasted a couple seconds doing that here. Ymir's going to zone out too, which is
Good
fine.
decision from Pikachu to zone.
Even if he dies, that's fine. They're wasting so much time on him.
Best communication.
They reset gold
The
again.
best part is when he doesn't die.
Although snipes were good again from Jad. Jad's really standing out for me in the Hunter role
Mm-hmm.
right now. He's making really good decisions. Apart from the reset, I mean, his actual teamfight presence has been very, very strong. And to be fair, Hayes has not played terribly. I just feel like he needs to work on his position a little bit more. He's getting himself into good spots, but then getting caught out of position because he's not relocating after he gets in a sweet spot to begin with. Pikachu played that very, very well, zoning out nicely. And I feel Sirket and Yana should have just ignored him, and they didn't combine well even when they were going for the kill because like Portal was missed unfortunately.
Yeah,
On the engagement.
I feel like the Onher's problem may be that his team isn't in position with him, and it's like his positioning wouldn't be bad if his team was there, and is that a miscommunication thing, or the fact that he's just not being map aware about it? So that's kind of hard to tell. Because I think the Onher is where he needs to be, but his team just needs to be there too, and they're not.
Exactly.
It's hard to tell.
Well, Chins is now online for Collie, so I want to see if she's actually going to come online. That Gold Fury's helped her out as well. So we'll see what she can do with the Chins.
She actually skipped
she
boots
skipped
3.
boots. I'm not too upset about that because
Yeah.
she's a lane Carly as well. She's lane Carly. She doesn't need to like rotate
I'm
as
assuming
much.
it's because she didn't back for a while and she had the money to do that. And the only reason because getting those pin boots online early is actually really important for Kali generally, because you want the movement speed to catch up, but also because of the penetration on 15 pin early is vital. Penetration early is is the strongest stat you can have in the game.
Exactly. I mean, it looks one-sided with it's been 10-1 in favor of the red team right now.
They're committing to this pretty hard. Yeah, they needed to back off. They missed too many abilities.
There's too much on that engagement.
This Circuit is really far behind right now. They're
Yes,
just going to
and I
blow up
think
the Geb again.
This is down to the pressure that Ymir can really bring in the early stages of the game if he gets himself going, and you can see that he really is going right now, as we're getting some nice EU plays coming out from the server. You got that too on stream, I'm guessing?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, I'll just make sure it wasn't just me. Yeah, no, it happens.
The Geb's been warding a lot and keeping their vision up, and he's 0-4, but I don't know. I don't really want to say it's his fault. Like it's just the pressure that Red has exerted early, and we see another kill happen in mid.
Is this? Well, what we're going to do, guys, is going to bring in the scout once again, and for some reason, it just feels like the whole team of Titan are like on scouting duty today, because today we've got Captain, Coach.
Captain?
The captain is with us as well to give us his feedback on this game. Captain, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing fine. Doing good.
Awesome. How's this game gone for you? What have you seen? Who stood out for you individually? And the scouts that were looking at this with you.
Okay, so what we all agreed on was the Pikachu. Like he stood out the most, especially in comms as well. You cannot hear that right now, but he was the one who was taking charge of shot calling, roll calling, target calling, objective calling. Like anything he could call, he would do that. So he did so much in terms of communication and initiating comms, asking questions of when people can attack or if they have push and such, and that was really spectacular. what he worked really well together with Gibbs, the support on the red team, which is I believe Team Neat.
Okay.
Because the way Gibbs acted and the way I know him already is that he is a very passive support to say in terms of shot calling. Or he's very humble and wants people to speak up, and he's never gonna override them. So what he did was communicate really well with the Pikachu to set everything up, and I think he might not do as well with a different jungler, but if these two could stay together in a team, I think that's gonna be spectacular.
Or he finds another jungler who has communications that
Yes,
makes up for him.
exactly.
That makes sense. Across the way, though, was there anyone like on the blue team that kind of stood out at all? Because we kind of do rough. For me, I'm kind of looking at Yarmus. I mean, he's not had like the best game for me personally, but what it is his mechanics, his decision making, like his poke didn't seem too bad. Like he seemed to understand what he was supposed to do.
His poke is good. I agree with you in that. His mechanics are good. But the way he worked together with their jungler, Lunam, or Manuel spelled backwards, wasn't too well. In terms of the ganks, their CC chains were off. For example,
Pikachu.
Yeah. For example, when Sukat would use her ults, then the Yanas would also at the same time portal, and they didn't communicate that well. And that was the main point of feedback that we gave to the blue team. Like they really need to work on that communication because people forget how valuable communication is.
Exactly. It's one of those things that we always talk about that we can't necessarily see on stream either, you know? We don't get to do that when we commentate games, but communication is such a big part of these games, and trying to find a team you want people who are good on comms. You can have quiet people though, but not all of them.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem to have quiet people. Like in Titan, we also have quiet people, but you need to make sure that you say, or that you not clutter the team speak as well. So you don't want too active people. Like,
I totally understand.
you just want people to convey necessary information at that point, like valuable information.
Anyone else stand out to you on the blue team, Team Thor? How'd you feel about the Honor?
Yeah, the Honor, like I was just gonna talk about him. He is doing really good in terms of I don't know if you've guys passed the gold free at 641.
Yeah.
It's there where Giannis portals and he pillars and stuns Rama, which forces the gold free to be leashed off and reset. Like that was a perfect play, and he has more plays like that throughout the entire game where he either 1v2s or 1v3s where he does really well and gets a kill. But sometimes when that carried into the mid to late game, where the Team Neve starts getting off the ground, he goes ham a little bit too often.
Okay.
But overall, his mechanics are really good.
I felt that way about him. Like he seemed to get himself into good positions, but then he didn't relocate his position afterwards. Yeah. That's what it kind of felt like. Yes. Where he hesitated a bit too much on the relocation that cost him a little bit too much.
But if you see him 1v1 like right now on stream, that like he does that exceptionally well.
Yeah. Exactly.
So a very good mechanical player, but decision making needs a little work at the very least, or positioning.
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much.
Rely a little bit more on the team as well in terms of
I guess that's
going for engagements.
I guess that can help you out as well. Like if you don't have to worry about your position so much if you can rely on your team a little bit more as well. I guess it's a bit backwards and forwards on that point. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Coach. I hope you continue doing these for the rest of the day. We'll hopefully get a chance to speak to you later on.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. From us guys, though, we'll be right back in a second. We'll bring you the next replay shortly as soon as we have it ready for you.